everyone, it's Boston Jen here, back with you here on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining me, and if you've been watching as I've been putting out new videos recently, thank you and welcome back. I've really been enjoying taking videos and sharing little clips of what's going on around here with all of you, so I hope that you'll join me again this week for little clips of our life. On Halloween, it was a Saturday morning, we woke up to quite a bit of snow. I was really surprised and didn't think we would get quite as much as we did, but as you can tell, it is a beautiful winter wonderland here. This is the view walking out the front of our house towards the driveway and then spinning around back towards the house. I love this wet, sticky snow. It just makes everything beautiful. And there's our house. Here's a peek at my walk up the driveway just to see what everything else looked like. If you're new around here, we have quite a long driveway, and it's especially beautiful to see all of the snow on the autumn leaves because not all of them have fallen yet, so the mix of the snow and the beautiful foliages is quite a sight. The temperatures warmed up quickly, so things started melting almost right away. But here's one last beautiful look before we head inside. Hey guys, I'm doing something today that I haven't done in forever. And while I am not camera worthy at all, hair definitely needs to be washed. I'm wearing workout clothes plus a sweater. I figured no time like the present, so let's just show you. So one of the things that I want for my craft room is a curtain to go under a desk area that I'll show you in a minute. And I've been making the curtain fabric out of leftover scraps. So I'm just piecing different pieces together. This is sort of just one panel that still needs to be attached. I will step back and show you the larger piece that I have made so far, which is nearly the size that I need for the space, but I'd like a little extra fabric so it can scrunch up a little bit, and then I need enough to go over the tension rod that will hang under the desk. So I thought I would just take a second to show you how I'm getting these. End up kind of being strips that get sewn in to this larger piece, so I figured I would just give you a peek into how I'm doing that. So I'm going to flip the camera and I'll be back. So here's my work surface. Part of what I've been cutting out today are pieces of fabric from my great aunt Millie's old house dresses. So these are really important pieces that I want the fabric to contain. I also have some fabric from some of my niece Ayla's clothes and things like that. So let me just show you. Those are some of her house dresses that are going to be included. I am set up with a basket that I'm throwing my scraps into just for easy access. Here is my sewing machine. It's actually belongs to a friend of the family, but she lets me use it. And here is my workspace. So besides these bigger pieces that I haven't cut down, I have all these little pieces of fabric. And really all I do is put them together, right side facing right side, run them through my machine, and then whatever's left over, if they don't match up quite right, then I cut that off. Real higgledy-piggledy. Let me see if I have another piece here. So, I might match up these two pieces, and this one is not as wide as the gray, and then I would just snip it off, and then I have a bigger piece of fabric, and I just keep making that bigger until it looks a little more like this. This is the space where I'm going to be putting the tension rod and my curtain to cover all of those bins. Now, clearly some of those files and other things aren't meant to live there, but the rest of the stuff can fit nicely once it's rearranged again and will fit behind the curtain. I got most of the curtain done today, and I am about to apply this beautiful pink color as a border along, I think it will be the bottom, maybe the top. I guess we'll see once I get that sewn together. And then I'll be well on my way to finishing this multi-year project. I finished the curtain and I found out that the rod that I thought was a tension rod is not, so I need to get a new rod, which is why you're not seeing it in place. And like I said, I'm sure this is not perfect at all, but it is good enough for me, and I'm really excited. It's got some fabrics that were part of project bags that I've made and used, and clothes from family members and things like that. So I just really like it. I like how bright and cheery it is, and I think it's going to be a great addition to my space. Since I'm down here and recording, I thought I would give you a quick peek at a couple of my other works in progress and a few tips along the way. So this is my cozy classic raglan sweater, which I talked about on a recent video and in episode 195 of the Down Cellar Studio Podcast. I ripped this back because I wasn't happy with the length. It calls for US 7 needles, but I actually picked up the stitches using US 1.5 needles, which are what I use for socks, just because it was super easy to get right into those stitches and pick them up. And then I will knit my first round in the 7s, which I have back here somewhere. So that is that project. I haven't knit on it yet, but at least it's ready to go. In my Christmassy Sensible Stitcher bag, I have the Ripple bralette pattern that I'm making for my niece. I ended up ripping back. I had started with the extra small size and it just looked too small, and confirmed with her mom that it just might be. So I went up to, I think it's like the small medium size, and I think that is going to be great. This rainbow yarn is just so fun. So that is pretty good. The 3x3 rib for the body of it is very easy to work on. Next up is a project that is in a new bag and notions pouch that I am very excited about. It is from JD Studios, $4.80 on Etsy. Judy is one of our Pigskin Party sponsors, and this pink football bag is our 2020 exclusive project bag. It has a beautiful little wristlet strap on there that's detachable. Inside the bag, I have plenty of room for my fiber fill and my yarn. I'll tell you about the project in a second. And she also sent along this Ruth Bader Ginsburg Little Notions pouch. I almost died. I love it so much. Thank you, Judy, if you are watching. I love it. I put the whole set together and am ready to go with another project. This is going to be a little Baymax amigurumi for my niece Hattie for Christmas. I think it's from Big Hero 6. I've never seen the movie, but apparently she likes it. So that I just got started today. Then in my Woodsy and Wild project bag, we have a sock for my grandmother. Another little tip for you, because I'm not just doing this in stockinette like I do my normal socks, I do 2x2 ribbing down the front of it so that it's stretchier for her to get on and off. I put a progress keeper, which I've since taken off, but just a removable stitch marker I put on there. We watched a movie, and before I knew it, I had done about this much. So that was most of the leg. So there's a little tip for you. If you just need a little mental motivation, throw in a project keeper. And then I am working on a sweater for my mom out of this adorable little basket. Just, because it's not leaving home, I figured I could throw it in this basket. And I'm seeing now that I didn't remove the tag. I got this at my favorite store. Thank you, Savers. Pretty sure I had a coupon, so it didn't even cost me $3. But the exciting thing about this project is I switched over the needles because I was using my favorite Nova Platina needles, which are just excellent to work with, but I thought they were a 32-inch, and turns out they must have been a 24. So I had gone out to one of my local yarn shops and picked up some needles, and I ended up getting the Licca needles. I think that's how you pronounce it. Driftwood needles, and I got a 40-inch cable, and it's quite a bit longer than what I was using. So I don't think I was even using a 32, but this is coming along nicely, and let me show you the needle. So far, I'm really, really happy with these. It's very, very smooth. You can see the details written on there. The cord is nice and flexible. It's not too stiff, which is my preference. I know it's not everyone's preference, but so far I'm really liking these, and now I can keep going with the increases on Mom's sweater. So you can see that I'm alternating skeins because there is quite a bit of a difference between the different balls of this yarn. And then last but not least, do you see him peeking out at us? This cutie little owl I made this weekend. My niece Millie asked for a good-sized owl. I'm not quite sure this is going to qualify as good-sized, but there are plenty of owl patterns out there, but not one that I really loved, except for this one. And so I tweaked this quite a bit from the original pattern because it's meant to have a hollow bottom so that it can have different little eggs hatching out of there and a little nest. And I kind of nixed all of that and just made some of my own modifications. So for full details about this, tune in to episode 196 of the Down Cellar Studio Podcast. I will talk more about it then, but it was just too cute and it was right here, and so I wanted to share. So that is going to do it for today. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I look forward to catching up with you all again soon. Bye!